How's it going, everybody? Robin here with Aries Fire Tarot. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Thanks so much for joining me on the channel today. So I'm trying to get a good lighting here so I can read this. I wanted to do a little segment on being an empath. How do you know if you are an empath? What you can do to sort of shield yourself from others while you're out doing your daily things, going to work, whatever it is that you have to do, how to not be holed up in your house constantly because it's too much for you to be out there. Also, I just wanted to help out people that may be an empath and not even know they are right now. So I'm just going to read this article that I wrote a few years ago. I used to write for a bunch of different publications, but I gave that up because I had to follow my sole purpose of being a tarot card reader. But I was guided to bring this out to the world. So guys, here we go. And this article is called The Empathic Mind. So what is it really like to be an empath? Simply put, an empath is a person with a sponge-like ability to absorb the emotions, good or bad, of the people they are surrounded by. For those who have never experienced what an empath is capable of feeling, try to imagine what it would be like to walk into a crowded room full of people. Now imagine everyone in that room wants to talk to you, all at the same time. And further, some of the people are screaming with rage or crying mournful tears with no two people on the same emotional level. That is pretty much how an empath feels when they are close to other people, regardless of the scenario, of whether the scenario is work or play. Needless to say, this can be a turbulent and confusing way to live, especially for empaths who do not have a clear understanding of their sensitivities and abilities to read others on such a raw and base level. The reality for empaths is that the unbidden influx of emotional energy can feel like an assault, and side effects can be instant and overwhelming. Standing next to an angry person can be so unsettling that an empath might feel physically ill and feel an urgent need to distance themselves immediately in an effort to restore a sense of calm and well-being. An encounter with a sad person for an empath can be an equally traumatic event. As an empath myself, I have felt my throat close in an effort to stem the tears that inexplicably come bubbling up from nowhere. With so many people and so many wildly erupting emotions, crowds can be sheer torture. An empath can easily allow themselves to lose that grip on reality in such a situation. The feeling is all-encompassing and eerily similar to being adrift in a dark body of water with no life preserver. So how to deal? For myself, I joined a few groups that shared strategies on how to deflect and redirect what I had previously been allowing to affect me to the point of distraction and what felt like a slow burning descent into madness. There are also some, and this may seem a bit witch doctory, online quizzes that provide deeper personal insight into the minds of those who suspect that they are more sensitive than most. Over time and with some practice, an empath should be able to walk out the door, watch the news, or go to work without feeling like curling up into a ball from the emotional stress of it all. Practices like grounding and shielding are popular in the empath realm, both of which are coping strategies employed by the empathically sensitive and other individuals who may have little to no natural barriers, such as a thick skin, in place. Shielding, also known as blocking, is exactly what it sounds like. A person mentally prepares themselves for a public, web-based, family, or other interaction. Sometimes shielding takes the form of music on the go or focusing on a calming mantra. For others, getting lost in a book is the best defense strategy. Some people I know go the route of imagining a protective shield around themselves and go through the motions of physically creating a shield prior to heading out the door. The empathic mind will generally follow what works best for it, and in fact, sometimes a combination of efforts may be required in order to stay calm and collected. Grounding has more to do with focusing on the here and now, being in the moment. It relates to bringing the mind to circumstances that relate to the one, not the many. Again, what works for one person may not work for another. But some examples are deep breathing, touching or holding onto an item that provides comfort, reading a list of power thoughts, or meditation or yoga session to release the anxiety or stress being felt. Grounding exercises are extremely effective before, during, or after situations where nerves may have been rubbed raw by the absorption of the thoughts and emotions of the general public or family, or work, or wherever. Keeping a journal is a great way to track progress and review historical reactions to certain people or situations. Important lessons on how to prepare and or avoid a high trigger scenario in interactions can be learned by reading past exposures. Using hindsight could be the key to understanding empathic behavior and how to best develop strategies for use in the future. By far, one of the best ways to cope with stressful emotional overloads is to have a resource available to help navigate through disruptions to calm. Having a close and understanding friend, parent, or member of an empath group on standby as a touchstone person can be an instrumental asset as well. The key to moving through any experience is being aware of it. From there, a toolkit can be developed, and in time, the world won't seem like such a scary place to be a part of anymore. So, guys, I hope this was a really informative article for you. It took me a long time to realize what was going on, like why sometimes when I would go stand beside somebody, I'd like just get the creeps, and I always thought it was me. I thought I was going crazy, and being able to almost read people's minds. That's why I don't ask for your backstory. If you send me a request for a personal reading, I don't need to know it. Like I can touch your energy just by you saying words to me, like sending that email. I have this clairvoyance that's linked to the empathic abilities. So it's and if you don't want that happening all the time, you really just need to start arming yourself. And I think, like I said in my article, the first step to that is being aware. Like, why is this happening to me? Why do I feel like such a disaster, like a train wreck in public? And stop blaming yourself. There's something going on. You have this psychic ability that you may or may not be aware of. So you have to protect that because you're on a different level than a lot of other people. There are groups on Facebook that I joined when I first became aware of what was going on. They're really, really helpful. I have spiritual healers for friends, so I just text like my bestie Besterson. I'll text him and say help right now. Like I'm going down a rabbit hole here. I'm getting lost, and he'll say something to cheer me up. So finding somebody that is on the same sort of wavelength as you, where they don't think you're, ready to be locked up somewhere, is really super ultra important. And for those of you taking public transit, like using the headphones or the book or whatever, it really will help you focus away from other people. And you don't feel like you have to stand beside somebody that is giving you like this like creeping sensation, because you're absorbing that from somebody else. And you can trust that. Like, I know right away when I meet somebody if they're like good or whatever, and if I don't feel comfortable standing beside somebody, I get away from them. I don't explain myself. I just say, excuse me, and I get on my way. You don't have to torture yourself standing beside somebody. Alternatively, if you meet somebody that's really good and happy, you'll probably feel that too. And that's one of the biggest reasons I like to go to concerts. Because the energy is so powerful. It's so uplifting. Everybody's so happy. And being in that kind of crowd, I can really enjoy it. But being in a crowd where things can get ugly, like at a sporting event where everybody hates the team all of a sudden, that's horrifying to me. So I'm going to find that how to see what level of empath you are, that online test. I'm going to throw a link down below for you guys. So if you kind of suspect that you might have these empathic abilities, which can really seem like a disability sometimes, you can check that out and maybe start getting into workshops and support groups and finding people that are more your tribe when it comes to your emotions that way. And once you start practicing blocking techniques and strategies, you'll find that life is so much easier on you. And I think the biggest key is to remove yourself from people that make your heart beat faster, but not in a good way. So I really hope this was sort of a helpful overview of empath and how to navigate the world as an empath, you guys, because I think it's a really important conversation subject. So I'll leave the video there for now, guys, and take care of yourselves. See you back next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Bye.